Hello everyone, welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today we're going to be talking some DFS with Mr. Matt.
How's it going?
Matt, you ain't been on the channel before, so you want to say anything about yourself before we get started?
Yeah. My name is Matt Shope. I've been playing fantasy sports for the better part of 15 years now. I do a little bit of everything, fantasy football, big into fantasy baseball. The segment here will be about a DFS, FanDuel. I'm big on FanDuel. Been playing that for about 10 years now. Won a little bit of money, and hopefully we can win or help you win some money this weekend.
Cool. You looking at mainly FanDuel then?
Mainly FanDuel, yeah.
Yeah, I did a little bit of DraftKings yesterday, but
We'll dive into some FanDuel here. We'll start with quarterback if you want.
yeah.
I got 3 picks to click, and then I got some chalk as well that I'll discuss. My main one here is I'm big on Josh Allen this week. He's only 7,900. I'm looking to have a big week against the Jets. I think he puts up some big numbers. The only thing we got to worry about with Josh Allen is if they get up big, where they run the ball a lot, but I still think he's going to get you the points you need. He's going to be able to spread the ball a lot, and, of course, he can use his legs to score a touchdown and get some big yardage for you, too.
You worry about him not getting as many rushing touchdowns with Zach Moss there now?
Yeah, I still think he still gets his. Zach Moss is going to be a factor. He's going to be the goal line back. He's another pick this week when we talk about running back that could vulture some points away in that game. But I still think Josh Allen's still going to be a good pick, and I think he's going to get in the end zone enough.
I don't have the Fantrax or the FanDuel scoring up in front of me. How does he compare to like the other guys?
He's mid-range. That's why I put him about 7,900. You're looking at the top with Lamar Jackson, but he still comes in a little bit lower than Jackson. He's about even with Matt Ryan, who I have here as well. That's another shootout game I'm going to talk about. But he comes in about mid-range, so he'd be a good player to slot in there so you can get some more depth in your lineup and get those big receivers and wide receivers that are going to get you some big points.
How much they got Lamar at right now?
Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Yeah. Just give me like Lamar and like Mitchell Trubisky so we got a little bit of a range for people.
A little bit of a range there.
Yeah, well, Trubisky's the lowest on DraftKings. He's 5,400.
Yeah, we got Lamar Jackson comes in at 9,400. And then you have Russell Wilson at 84, Drew Brees at 81. And then you have that mid-range where Josh Allen, Matt Ryan, Kyler Murray, Carson Wentz, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers are all 7,500 up to 7,900. So there's only $400 that separates that whole middle pack there.
You got more guys in the upper one on FanDuel at least.
Right. Another guy I really like, it's not a secret in the DFS community, Derek Carr. I think that game's going to be kind of a shootout. I have a lot of Vegas Raiders this week that I'm going to be plugging into my lineups. And I think Derek Carr to 71, you can still fit a lot of talent in your lineup with him, and I think they're going to spread the ball out a lot.
He's you said 7,100?
The 7,100, yeah, for Carr.
I got him over at DraftKings.
So what'd you say?
I got him over at DraftKings. At DraftKings, he's 5,900, so.
That's a good deal for him. He's a guy that can put up those big numbers for you this week. Another guy is Matt Ryan. It's no secret they're expecting that game to be a shootout with Seattle. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in that game. Matt Ryan comes in cheaper in that game. That's why I went with him. And I think he has the tools this year to put that together. Yeah, because he comes in at 7,800 and Russell Wilson comes in at 84. Or I think Ryan can outscore Wilson this week.
Is that your main quarterback ones?
Yeah, those are my 3 main quarterbacks, yep.
How much is Teddy over in FanDuel? Teddy Bridgewater and Tyrod Taylor are 2 guys I like over on DraftKings. They're both real cheap and got good matchups as well this week.
Right. He's only 68, and actually Trubisky comes in at 69. So Trubisky's actually more expensive than Bridgewater, and I think Bridgewater's a better quarterback this week.
Yeah, well, Trubisky is playing against the Lions, and that's like the only team he's good against.
Right. And it is a divisional matchup. I mean, you think he's going to come out against him? I have Allen Robinson in my wide receiver, which we'll talk about too. I think he gets a lot of points this week. I don't know about Trubisky. I can never get him right. I can never get him right when it goes. He can either have a really good week or he's going to throw up a big goose egg for you.
Yeah.
So he's one of those guys I really trust.
He's only good against bad teams.
Right.
So
which when you play the Packers twice, it's not good. So those are my main quarterback plays. Another one that's out there. No, I said with Burrow, I just can't trust him right out of the gate. He's a rookie. They're saying he could have a huge week this week. There's a lot of projections going his way, but again, he might be on a snap count, and I don't know what his offensive scheme is going to look like. So it's coming in the first game with no preseason. It's an industry question mark right now. There's really a lot of talk going either way. So I don't like that, especially when you're trying to bet it with it. So I'm probably going to fade him this week.
Yeah, I don't think he'll have a big week. Chargers defense is pretty good.
Right. And like I said, I think he'll be there, and I think in the coming weeks you're going to see him be a big name coming out of there. The Bengals are a better team. Their line still isn't the best, which scares me too, but they do have a lot of offensive weapons in that lineup, and I think he's going to spread the ball out and get the points. But, again, I don't think it's this week.
Yeah, and plus he didn't have time to build up chemistry as much with A.J. Green and John Ross both being gone.
Right. Yeah, we really don't know what he's going to show up either. I'm kind of avoiding that whole situation for week 1.
If you believe the reports coming out of camp, too, they want to get Mixon the ball a lot.
Right.
Because they said he was good last year, deeper into the game. I'm a big Mixon fan this year, though.
See, I know you're a big Mixon fan on that. Again, that injury prone, I don't know.
He's not injury prone.
We'll
He's not. He rolled his ankle once last year, and that was it. He hasn't really been hurt
I guess.
otherwise. You on running backs now?
Yep, we can go to running backs. My big one, who I'm most weighted on this week, is Aaron Jones. He comes in at 7,800. I think he has a big game. I think the Packers are going to look to really run the ball this year. That's going to be a lot better. Rodgers kind of slowing down. His arm's not all the way there. Jones, you saw at the end of last year, he can really put up some big numbers and have some big games. And I think they're going to use him in there. They're going to use him in the passing game, too. So I think he's going to get some big points this week. My second running back, who I'm most – go ahead, I'm sorry.
Do you worry with Jones, though? They brought in A.J. Dillon. They said Jamal Williams is looking good this year. Even when Jones is playing good, he still was only getting like 60% of the snaps. He didn't have very good receiving games when Devontae Adams did play as well.
Right. I still think they're going to try to give him the ball a lot. I think they're going to move it to him, at least try to incorporate him bigger into the scheme. But like you said, with Devontae Adams, they're going to try to go deep, but he's still going to be a safety valve, and he's still going to be open on the field. So I think he does get his points, and I think at 7,800 he still comes in at worth it for the amount of points you're going to get out of him. My second running back I have weighted a lot weighted on this week is Josh Jacobs. He comes in at 8,200. He's a little more expensive, but I think that game gets a little out of hand. He's going to get a lot of touches in that game. There's going to be a lot of ground game there. I think he vultures 2 touchdowns out of the game, and I really think it's a blowout with the Panthers. I think Bridgewater does okay, but I think the Raiders are going to come out and score a lot of points.
See, I got that one as a shootout. I think both teams are going to score a lot of points because both defenses are awful.
I'm a big Panthers fan, as you can see. I can't trust the Panthers offense. The only person I can trust is Chris McCaffrey, and you can't give him the ball every time, even though they try.
DJ Moore's a stud.
Right. Huh?
DJ Moore's a stud, though.
He is, but you got to be able to get it out to him.
Yeah.
My son agrees with you.
But I think a lot of people are underestimating Teddy Bridgewater.
I always have. I haven't seen him fully, and again, I'm being a Panthers fan. I'm a little leery. I want him to do great. I really do, and I think he can. But in that scheme, I don't know. Again, I want to see what happens before I throw all my eggs in that basket.
Yeah. He can't be any worse than Kyle Allen, though.
No,
Kyle
not at all.
Allen was 24% on the deep ball last year, so.
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
Yeah, and bringing in Joe Brady is going to help him, and Brady and Bridgewater were actually with the Saints for 1 year together, so he was Brady's guy that he wanted to bring in.
Like I said, if this chemistry builds there, they can build it up. I see that. I hope for a shootout because that'll be good for both sides. And like I said, C-Mac is always in play. He's expensive. I'll give you the
how much is
money on him on FanDuel.
He's $10,000 on
$10,000. $10,000 on FanDuel too.
He's the same on DraftKings.
Yeah, he's one of the highest. I mean,
he's the most.
He's going to get you points, but he's got to put up a lot of points to cover that $10,000.
Yeah,
a lot of points. So I'll probably have a complete fade on him. If you're running one lineup, like a single entry, you might want to get him in there, just to try. But even then, I think you can go other places. Week 1, there's a lot of value, and you don't have to go all the way up to McCaffrey this week. 2 of my chalk players that are going to be cheaper. Antonio Gibson coming out of Washington. He's at 4,600. I think he's going to be highly owned. He's expected to get a lot of touches in that game. Same with Boston Scott. Now that Sanders has officially been declared out, he's going to be monster chalk at 4,700.
I wouldn't touch Scott now because everybody's going to play him.
Right. So I mean, the chalk play, he's going to be 30-40% owned in your tournaments now. At that price of 4,700, a fade would be warranted if you're playing some lines because that's going to differentiate you from the pack. Again, you're playing one line, I'd probably slot him in there just to save yourself. But if you're playing multiple lines or playing a big GPP tournament like the $1 million one, I would probably fade him and move on to somebody else because a lot of people are going to be on him.
I don't think Gibson's going to get as many touches as a lot of people are thinking.
You don't?
No. He had 33 carries at Memphis, so I don't see him coming in and making a big splash right away. I think, as bad as it sounds, Peyton Barber's going to get like 16 carries.
Wow.
It's bad, but like it's week 1, you know.
Right, it is week 1.
They're going to use him like,
and that's another.
I think they're better off using him like in the slot and kind of on passing downs, but they've talked a lot about McKissick too. And then if Bryce Love plays and is healthy, that's something else to consider.
Right.
Do you know how much Bryce Love is over there?
Yeah, I can look.
Because him and Gibson are both 4,000 on DraftKings.
Bryce Love is only 4,500 on FanDuel, so he comes in at a cheap play. Yeah.
His thing is, those two guys, you don't know how many touches they're going to get, and you got 4 guys in the backfield.
Right, and that could play into that. Like I said, I know I'm hearing a lot of talk of Antonio Gibson. I know, but that when a lot of that talk happens, sometimes I tend to want to fade away because there could be some underlying stuff there. But again, he's cheap. He doesn't have to get that many points for it. If he puts up a 10 spot at 4,600, it works out for you. All these lower guys, if they put up that many points, you're having a good week. That's all you're looking for with those, and they're dart throws. That brings us to another point. It's week 1. These are projections for week 1. We haven't seen a lot of these guys play. There hasn't been a preseason. So don't go out and bet the farm first week because there's going to be a lot of weird stuff happen. There's always a lot of weird stuff happens on week 1. So again, have fun with it, but don't go crazy. Again, there's that middle pack of like Mixon and Chubb and Carson. I'm not on Eckler.
They're missing a couple linemen there too.
At all with Cincinnati, but I really don't know what to show there. I think Chubb is a pass with the Baltimore defense. Mixon's probably a good move too. Carson's going to see a lot of traffic. They always like to hand the ball off in Seattle.
They talked about splitting carries with Carlos Hyde too.
Right. I don't know what Gurley's going to do in that Atlanta offense. I don't know how he's going to fit in there. I mean, he seems like a good fit for it. But again, I think they go to the air a lot in this game. He could get you a couple catches on there. One guy I'm a complete fade on this week is Mark Ingram. I'm not going to touch Ingram. I don't know how that's going to play out. In the backfield there's a lot of moving pieces. And, of course, Jackson can run for 100 yards himself. And now with Dobbins in the picture, I really don't know what to expect out of Ingram. I would stay away from that situation completely right now.
See, I'd do the opposite. I'd play him because nobody else is going to play him.
He would be a low played play. That would be a very 20 spot. He could put up 3 points. I really don't know what to expect.
Dobbins might only get 8 touches. If you look at the depth chart, he's technically the 4th string running back.
Fourth running back. Yeah,
behind Justice Hill even.
Right. So he's big talk again. There was no preseason. There's nothing to really push him up. I don't know. With Jackson there, I probably wouldn't pay the price tag for him. But like I said, if you want to throw him in a line, I wouldn't be against it because that is going to differentiate you from the pack.
I'll ask you about a couple other guys. I don't know how they're priced on FanDuel, but these were guys that I kind of wrote down for DraftKings. So I had Tariq Cohen. Obviously, he's one guy that's more if Montgomery doesn't play.
Right.
But he was 4,900 on DraftKings. What did you say?
Yeah, because Montgomery is listed as officially questionable right now.
Yeah, he practiced the other day.
Be a game time decision on that. I'll see what Cohen's priced at here. Cohen's priced at 5,200.
Yeah, so he's a little bit more expensive over there.
Good play if he doesn't play.
A couple other guys I got listed down. I have Rex Burkhead for the Patriots. because he was 4,000 on DraftKings, and then I got Chris Thompson down for Jacksonville.
Yeah, because Sony Michel
He's going to be limited in carries, and they don't.
Yeah,
have, they don't have anybody else that can run the ball up the middle.
Right. So that might be a very good play too. I'm never on the Patriots back, but now that's been different. Now that you got Cam there, I know they may try to run the ball more.
Mm-hmm.
Cam, the one with going back to quarterback, I don't trust him. Being a Panthers fan, I saw what he did last year. He's in a different scheme this year. I understand that.
He's healthy,
but I still, hopefully, we'll see. But again, I can't trust Cam in this week one. I got to see what he comes up with. See what he does week one. Yeah. But he's with the Patriots, so he might come out and score 40 points. I don't know. We'll see.
You like Chris Thompson at all?
I do. He's going to be the main pass catching back. I'm not 100% on him. That Jacksonville game, I think they're going to have to go to the air a lot.
Yeah.
But they are going to try to pass to him, and I think he's going to be in the passing game a lot. So he might be a dart throw. But that Indianapolis defense is one of my defenses for this week, and I think they shut him down pretty well. But they're still going to have to go to the air, and they're going to have to come out of the backfield too.
Mm-hmm. The other thing to keep in mind with that game is it might rain there too, so then they might run the ball more.
Right.
Yeah, but we can go over to wide receivers then. I think that's pretty much all the running backs that I had down. I got a couple other little guys in there like Zach Moss and Joshua Kelly, but those are
Moss
touchdown guys.
Yeah, Moss is going to be a touchdown guy. He's going to be a goal line back. He's going to be – I think he does vulture some from Singletary. I wouldn't touch Singletary. I couldn't trust him much. He can't hold the ball very well. I mean, in your season long, maybe play him, but in DFS this game, I would not touch Singletary at all. If you're looking for a guy who can get you a couple end zone touches, Moss is that guy. All right, move on to wide receiver. The top guy there, Michael Thomas. He's at 8,800. I'm going to have him in a lot of my lines. I know he's expensive, but I think he's the best wide receiver in the game. He's going to put up the most points. It's a plus matchup with Tampa Bay. I think that's another shootout game. I think he touches the ball a lot in that game, and I think he gets 2-3 touchdowns. So I think you bite the bullet on that 8,800 and get him in your lineup. Same with Devontae Adams. He's got a plus matchup with Minnesota, with the Vikings. And I think he scores 1 to 2 touchdowns too. He comes in at 8,000. They're both expensive.
Adams is a little bit more expensive on FanDuel. On DraftKings, he's like 7,300. So a lot of people are talking about him being a value over there.
That's a huge value over there. Yeah, at 8,000, he comes in. I think it's the fourth most expensive wide receiver. No, he comes in the third. He's behind Thomas and then Jones. Julio Jones is there. I like him. Again, it's just who you want there. All three of those games are going to be shootouts. The New Orleans game, the Atlanta-Seattle game, and Green Bay-Minnesota. All those games plus matchups. It's going to be a lot of points scored. Mm-hmm. You're not going to go wrong with Thomas, Jones, or Adams. Get one of them, maybe two in your lineup. If you want to drop down to that next tier, you have Hopkins.
How much is Lockett over there?
Lockett comes in at 6,800.
Because I think
he's
a good play this week.
Yep. Because again, he's going to have to go to the air in that game. It's going to be a shootout. Allen Robinson comes in at 7,200, so he's a pretty good price too. And DJ Moore too is he's priced at 71, and he has a good matchup against the Raiders as well. Mm-hmm. So he'd be a guy that I try to slot in there too. Yeah. Again, it's all dependent on how he's stacking up against Teddy Bridgewater or their connection that they have.
I think he fits in good with the Panthers though. He's kind of that short intermediate route guy. He gets the ball and then he runs with it.
Right.
And I think that's more Bridgewater's strength. I did build a lineup where I pretty much played Derek Carr, like the Raiders, and DJ Moore as well.
Right. And that's a good play. Like I said, I have a lot of Raiders in the lineup. Play of the game. Again, I think it's going to be one of the highest scoring games on the slate. So you want to get some action in that. And DJ Moore, if you're not going to pay up for McCaffrey, or a good way to get the Panthers into your lineup with DJ Moore.
Robbie Anderson is over there, but would you take a shot on him at all? Because like he's
I would.
if you're gonna stack Teddy, like you could stack him and Teddy and try to take a like especially like if you're
Right,
playing in like a
because
tournament.
Because Anderson comes in at 5,600, so he actually comes in at a pretty good price.
How much is Curtis Samuel then?
He comes in at 55.
So they're about the same.
About the same.
Yeah.
If I had to pick, I would go. I'd probably go Robbie Anderson. He's a bigger threat. He's a bigger guy.
Mm-hmm.
But Samuel does have the connection with the offense already. But again, it's Bridgewater, so he's new to the scheme, so you really can't say anything about that either.
It's a brand new offense altogether either way, though.
Right.
Robbie Anderson actually played for Matt Rule at Temple, too, so.
Right. So, yeah, I think you touched him there. I have another piece in that. I have Ruggs III. He comes in at 5,100. Yeah. He's a rookie. I don't know what to really expect, but he is supposed to have a considerably large part of that offense. At 5,100, he could be a dart throw where you could slot somebody else more expensive in there and hopefully get a touchdown and 80 yards out of him.
He's the same on DraftKings as well. Do you know how much Bryan Edwards is over there? Do you like Bryan Edwards at all?
I do.
I love Bryan Edwards in general. So
he only comes in at 4,500, so he's a cheap guy too, and he's got that plus matchup with the Panthers.
Mm-hmm. And he's more of that alpha wide receiver too.
Right. Especially if they get two Ruggs, I mean, he can be a big threat too. There's a lot of pieces in that game that you can turn to. I would say if you're making a couple lines, get creative, have fun with it, throw in a couple guys, and see what they can do. My main wide receiver that's in almost every one of my lineups this week is Deshaun Jackson. I got him in. He's 5,700. In that Philadelphia offense, he's going to be a number one this week. Just slot him in, get his points, and roll with it. 57, almost a free square at that. Yeah. Put him in your lineup, get him in. He's going to score a lot of points.
He's going to be probably one of the most owned wide receivers, though, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, he's 4,900 over on DraftKings.
Again, if you want to be different, fade him. If you're making one line, I would probably have Jackson in there.
Yeah, it depends if
save yourself on that.
If you're trying to win or if you're trying to cash out.
Right. Because these are mostly, I'm going GPP plays, which is the guaranteed prize pool. Yeah. These are mostly those plays. You can use some of these in your cash games too, your 50-50s. Mm-hmm. Those are going to be, you're going to want to play your chalk plays in those. You're going to want to find guys that are there to just get the 50-50 to be over. But in GPPs, get creative. Try to differentiate yourself.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any other wide receivers you want to talk about?
I do not.
Okay, I got some other ones that I wrote down. So Marvin Jones was one that I liked over on DraftKings. He's 5,500 over there. Kenny Galladay is probably going to miss the game. And in games where Marvin Jones has been targeted 10 times by Matthew Stafford, he averages 23 PPR points.
Wow.
So I think he's a value. I had Sammy Watkins down. They already played, obviously, but
right.
Deontay Johnson's one that I like for Pittsburgh as well. I don't know how much he is over on FanDuel, but he's 4,200 on DraftKings. And then Paris Campbell and Van Jefferson are a couple other ones if you're trying to get somebody real cheap.
Right.
Jefferson's kind of a wild card, though. I think that game turns into a shootout.
I do too.
But if you read anything coming out of their reports, is like Jalen Ramsey's like, I can't even cover this kid.
Right. He's a big kid. He's fast. He's going to be potent to that offense. Again, I don't know what they're going to come out week one with it.
He's a great route runner. His dad's actually the wide receiver coach for the New York Jets. So, and he played in the NFL too.
I know. Mm-hmm. You want to throw a dart at him, I would. Again, you're making 15, 20 lines. Put him in there. You
like Chase Claypool at all week one?
I do. I like Claypool a lot. Again, I think he's one that comes out. He kind of came out this week as a big play. I think he puts up the points you need him to. But again, I think he might be a little chalky.
Yeah, he needs a touchdown to be worth it, really. But on DraftKings, he's only 3,000. And with Deontay Johnson, he was a little banged up in practice this week, but he's supposedly good to go.
Right.
And then you got tight ends?
I do. I got three that I'm kind of covering. My main one, again, is Darren Waller. He's in that game. He was a touchdown hog last year. I think Carr gets it to him as well. I think he scores 2 touchdowns this week.
I'll stop you.
He's my 2 touchdown pick.
Darren Waller only scored 3 touchdowns last year.
I think this year, I was trying to say he's coming into his own this year.
I think they'll use him more in the red zone this year.
Right.
But I think they're also going to use Bryan Edwards a ton in the red zone because he's a freak.
Right. But again, he is 6,800. He is kind of expensive, so you would have to pay up for him. I don't like paying up at the tight end spot. Where I'm most going to be covered is it Hurst at 5,200. There's not a secret on him either. He's probably going to be the most owned tight end, I would assume. And at 5,800, he comes in at a really good price point. But I'm going to slot him in there and just go with it. One that you don't like is Jimmy Graham. I think with the Bears, a new scheme, they're saying he's going to be a red zone target. They want to get him the ball more. I'm always scared with Jimmy Graham because he's had seasons where he's been an absolute beast, and he's had seasons where he puts up goose eggs. I don't know what to expect from this Bears offense. I don't know what he's going to do, but he could put a touchdown in there. And if he does that at 5,000, he's worth it.
Trubisky doesn't throw the tight end though.
Right. That's why it's
400 yards receiving to the tight end last year. Part of it was the tight ends suck, but part of it's he doesn't throw to them either. You got the Cole Kmet factor too.
Right, and they're saying he's going to be a blocking. I don't see that. He was never that in Notre Dame. He's the biggest guy on the field.
I think they'll use that other tight end as a blocker.
Right,
but I think Cole Kmet, or fourth string guy.
Yeah. But this week, Jimmy Graham, there's been a lot of talk about him. He might get a touchdown. If he gets you a touchdown at $5,000, he's worth it. Yeah. Who do you have at tight end?
So Hurst was one of mine. I don't know how Blake Jarwin and Eric Ebron are priced over there, but they're guys that I like. Herndon could be another guy, and Logan Thomas. They're all real cheap over on DraftKings.
Right. And really, when it comes to tight end, I don't like paying up for tight end unless their name is Kittle or Kelsey. Those are the only two I ever pay up for. And even then, they got to have a plus matchup. I mean, Kittle has that this week at 8,000.
He's too much
because they're playing Arizona. It's a good matchup, but you're going to have to pay 8,000 for Kittle, and he's got to pay off with that. Zach Ertz has a pretty good matchup against Washington this week. I wouldn't touch Cook. He got his touches last year. He got his touchdowns. I don't know what to expect out of there. My bold pick for the week is I don't think Rob Gronkowski touches the end zone.
I wouldn't touch him at all this
No.
week. One of my bold predictions this year was Cameron Braid outscored Rob Gronkowski. So.
Right. It's Gronk. He's got the name. He's got Brady there. There's a lot of hype around that game. Don't jump on that hype train yet.
I don't think that game's
until he puts up.
I don't think that game's going to be high scoring. I think everybody thinks it's going to be, but it's not. Especially if Evans misses.
Pretty good. Defense is pretty good.
If Evans misses, I don't think that game gets high scoring.
Right, and from what it looks like, I don't think Evans is going to play.
Yeah, he's questionable. He's leaning more towards playing now than he was yesterday. But like my other,
because as of last night, I don't know.
Yeah, but my other concern with Gronk is too like he hasn't played in over a year, so I think he's going to be on a snap count anyways.
Right. But yeah, in the tight end spot, plug in somebody who's going to be, or he thinks going to get the touchdown, throw him in there, and move on to the rest of your lineup. Don't think too much about it. Yeah. With defense, I have 3 major ones I'm playing this week. My Eagles is the top one. They come in at 4,500 on FanDuel. The Colts are a major one too. They're cheap at 3,700. I like the Bears defense against Detroit. They come in at 4,400. They're missing some pieces this year, but I still think in that matchup they can hold the game close, or at least get some points with 4,400. But if you're going that route, go up another $100 to the Eagles.
I don't like the Bears though. If Stafford plays, they're going to put up points.
Right. Like I said, if you're going to go that route, go up to the Eagles at 4,500.
I looked at the Bills, but they're kind of expensive.
Oh, yeah, Bills come in at 4,700. The third highest. The 3 highest ones are the Niners at 5,000, the Ravens at 48, Bills at 47, and then the Patriots at 46.
Yeah, I wouldn't even touch the Patriots.
Me either.
With how many people they opt out.
They have a lot. They had a lot of guys that sat out this year.
Yeah.
I have another bold pick. I didn't talk about wide receiver. I think Larry Fitzgerald. He's old. He's old Larry.
Yeah.
He's been in there forever. But at 5,300, he might vulture you a touchdown. I'd throw him in some lineups. That's my bold. It's a bold pick. If you're making multiple lineups, throw him in a couple. I think he gets a touchdown.
I think you're better off starting Paris Campbell.
Go Fitzgerald.
Is that why you picked him in our league?
Yep, always.
Last pick.
I'm a Larry connoisseur.
Larry legend.
That's right.
You got anything else to say for this part at least?
I don't. Like I said, play light this week. Have fun with it. It's week 1. It's exciting. We have football this year. A lot of people didn't think we were going to have it.
For now.
It's here. Enjoy, but don't go nuts. Don't throw all your money at week 1 because there's a lot of different things happen this week.
Yep.
No Bears.
All right, guys. So this is Matt joining us for some DFS advice for this week. I'm just talking through some values over on the FanDuel side. I know I did a little bit of DraftKings already. We'll probably have him on in the future again. If you guys want to see Matt back, be sure to leave a comment down below. If you guys liked and enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. It helps build the community that we're trying to grow here at Coach Craig Sports. If you are a new or current subscriber who hasn't already done so, please also hit that little notification bell. It'll let you know every time that I put up a new video. And with that being said, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Hope it helps you in your DFS lineups this weekend. And have a great rest of your day.